I must confess I am no match to Mother's writing prowess, but just the same, I ventured into writing her life story, knowing that the pleasure of sharing her life experiences far outweighed the flaws she might find in my writing. On May 16, 1923, in the small town of Ilog, Negros Occidental, in the southern part of the Philippines, on a cool night was born a beautiful, healthy baby who was to become my mother, Maxima Minor. As was customary in a small town, her birth was attended to by a quack doctor. Since she was born to a generation that was devoid of modern day technology, she spent her childhood without television, cell phones, and video games. Instead, she had fun running with friends, playing out in the open field, chasing dragonflies, and playing house with pots and pans. At a young age, she enjoyed countless recognition from her peers and teachers. At 14, she won the title Miss Kabangkalan High School. However, it was not only her beauty that amazed her classmates and teachers. It was also her intelligence. She was both beauty and brains. In her first year of high school, she won the Best Girl in Algebra award, and later she earned the title of the Best Behaved Student in her junior year. Eventually, she received the valedictorian award at graduation and proudly delivered the valedictory address. When World War II broke out, the challenges that Mother had to face began to unfold. She was in her freshman year at Silliman University, but the war had interrupted her schooling. Mother still has vivid memories of the time and the Japanese occupation of the Philippines. She would relate stories about how she and her family lived in constant fear, shuffled from one relative to another wherever it was deemed safe, shaken by the blast of bombs and the screams of the Japanese soldiers. The war had shattered her future plans and put a halt her bright beginnings. Fortunately, the war ended and the Philippines became independent of the United States in 1946. Mother then resumed her schooling at Silliman University. However, it was cut short by an event that proved to be a turning point in her life. She was 22 then. Mother received an invitation from her cousin, who hosted a party at her house. She was introduced to a dashingly handsome doctor who was 18 years older than she, Manuel Inco, who was later to become my father. Father was from Hagonoy, Bulacan, which was miles and miles away from where she lived. By a twist of fate, Father received an assignment from his agency to eradicate malaria and provide health education to the community. It must have been love at first sight. He was smitten by her instantly. Confident and self-assured, Father wasted no time at the party. He laid down his plans for his new acquaintance. He pretended to be a palm reader and predicted that Mother would marry someone from far away. At that moment, Father was already venturing into what was tantamount to a marriage proposal, describing how her life would be with him. Little did she know that a 10-minute palm reading session would change her life forever. After a whirlwind courtship that lasted roughly 2.5 months, Mother became Maxima Inco at a simple wedding ceremony, and she became a member of one of the wealthy and well-known clans in Hagonoy, Bulacan. At that point, Mother was faced with new challenges. Father's family was not welcoming to her since she didn't come from the same social status as his. Father was further criticized by choosing a wife who hadn't finished a college degree. She came under close scrutiny of her sisters-in-law, although she got along well with her only brother-in-law. Undaunted and resolute, Mother proved equal to the challenge. She completed her college education at the University of Santo Tomas. Later, she pursued her master's degree at the University of the Philippines. While completing her program, she gave birth to 2 wonderful children, Bob and Rose, assuming the responsibility of balancing her studies, teaching, and caring for her children. 9 years into their marriage, in 1955, Father obtained a 2-year scholarship to the United States. Mother stayed behind to tend to her 6 children. The period of temporary separation for Father, while having to care for the children by herself, was one of the most challenging moments of her life. She was living with her in-laws, and she had numerous crisis situations. Joey, her 5th child, went into delirium as a result of high fever. Mary Lou, her third child, was beaten by a dog. Noel, her fourth child, sustained a fractured clavicle after falling off the bed. Bob, her eldest son, fell off the bike. Those incidents would have broken my mother's spirit, but they didn't break hers. She remained steadfast and dealt with the challenges with prayers and resolve. Father returned after 1 year, and their decision to move back to Manila turned out to be a great relief to her. Mother and father then ingenuously raised their 10 children in Quezon City. Mother started her teaching career first at a high school, then later at the Fiati University, where she taught English. It was at the university where she would meet her gang, which included Miss Soto, Besid, Angeles, Fermin, Mauricio, and Baluyot, who remained her close friends through their retirement years. Once retired, Mother and father embarked on their interest, traveling. She has visited London, Paris, Brussels, Germany, Puerto Rico, Austria, and Jamaica. Our Lady of Lourdes is her favorite tourist spot, so she visited the site on her trip to France. During those times when she wasn't traveling, she would spend time babysitting her grandchildren in the Philippines and the United States. In 1990, Mother experienced a life-changing event in her life. Her 44 years of companionship with Father had ended with his demise. His passing was a difficult time, but she managed to pull herself together. Her prayers and indomitable spirit helped her deal with the challenge. With Father having joined the community of saints, Mother moved to California, where she took a computer course, worked as a taster, and did volunteering. Later, she settled in Florida. Mother has had various interests and talents. She loved gardening and appears to have a green thumb. Her robust banana and mango plants in the backyard would testify to this. She also loved to cook Filipino dishes like kare-kare, bringhe, pansit bihon, pansit palabok, and lumpiang prito. Family and friends looked forward to having these dishes when they visited. Playing the piano was one of her interests too. She also loved to sing. Ang tangi kong pag-ibig, in English it means my one and only love, is her most unforgettable and memorable song, and she remembers every word of it. She would recount the time when Father, then 70 years old, played the song on the piano and dedicated it to her on Valentine's Day. On top of these hobbies and interests, Mother also possessed entrepreneurial qualities. She made some money by selling jewelry, fruit juice, coconut jam, and chicken. She also enjoyed dancing to different kinds of music, from tango and boogie to Macarena. In December 2011, Mother experienced another challenging moment in her life. She slipped and fell to the floor, breaking her hip. She underwent surgery and extensive therapy. Although the experience was heartbreaking, she valiantly fought the pain and remained calm and collected. During her confinement at the hospital, she managed to wear a smile and joke around with the hospital staff. She amused at her experience of being transported to the hospital by helicopter. Mother is an ordinary person who survived extraordinary challenges in her life. How she dealt with the challenges defines her. She has remained strong and demonstrated resilience in the face of adversity. She has lived through life's difficulties with a sense of humor and fortitude. Mother's life is a gift to all who knew her and whose lives she has touched. The seeds that were planted by a 10-minute palm reading session with a stranger grew to become a robust tree, bearing 10 children, branching out to 9 in-laws, and blossoming into 18 grandchildren and 6 great-grandchildren. Mother's biography is far from finished. There will be much more to write about and share with you as she continues to live her life into the future. But one thing I am certain about, as I write Mother's life story, I have the opportunity to delve into the deeper recesses of her mind and capture her inner spirit. Let Mother's life inspire us all.
Say happy birthday, Mommy.
Happy birthday, Mommy.
We love you.
I love you.
We miss you.
Ang tangi kong pag-ibig ay minsan lamang, ngunit ang iyong akala ay hindi tunay, hindi ka lilimutin. Magpakailan pa man, habang ako ay narito at may buhay. Malasin mo't nagtitiis ng kalungkutan. Ang buhay ko'y unti-unti nang pumapanaw. Wari ko ba, sinta? Ako'y mamamatay kung di ikaw ang kapiling habang buhay. Hindi ka lilimutin, magpakailan pa man, habang ako ay narito at may buhay. Malasin mo't nagtitiis ng kalungkutan. Ang buhay ko'y unti-unti nang mapanaw. Wari ko ba, sinta? Ako'y mamamatay kung di ikaw ang kapiling.